Let's get started. Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. So Joel Embiid was pushing the Philadelphia 76ers. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. Joel Embiid was pushing the Philadelphia 76ers to trade for Bradley Beal ahead of their deal for James Harden, according to sources that spoke with Bill Simmons. This is what I heard, says Simmons on his podcast. I've had pretty good intel throughout this whole thing. This is what I was hearing in the moment, that Embiid really wanted Bradley Beal and was pushing really hard for it and was talking to him all the time and was pushing. And part of the reason the trade stuff took so long was because there was the Sixers side that wanted Harden. Obviously, Daryl Morey, because Harden is his guy, but Embiid really wanted Beal because he felt like he was a better fit and was pushing. Then Beal gets hurt, but then Embiid is still pushing. No. Beal. Still working on him. And then Bill's like, I'm out. And he gets surgery. And then that's how we end up with the Harden situation. The announcement that Bill would undergo season-ending surgery came 2 days before the trade deadline. While Zach Lowe was a guest on the podcast with Simmons and didn't interject, he previously reported that there is a theory going around the NBA that Harden could take less money in hopes of Philadelphia signing a third star this offseason. Bill projects to be the highest profile free agent this summer. So, what do you guys think, man? Do you guys think this is true or not? I could see Bill playing with Joel Embiid. I feel Bill probably would have been the better fit because Bill is more of an off-the-ball player than James Harden. Harden's not really a strong off-the-ball player. So Bill, to me, would have been a better fit. Now, if they're able to swing and get Bill this summer and Harden, which I believe Harden will take less money because Harden wants to do less work as possible. He does not want it to be like Brooklyn was or Houston, where he has to be the main guy and it's all on him. He does not want that challenge. He is not Kobe. He's not Michael. He's not those guys. He does not want the challenge. He's like LeBron. Him and LeBron are the same player. They love less work as possible. So, Bradley Beal would be probably a great fit for them. If they're able to get him, then it will work this summer. Their team would be dangerous going into next year. Then I could see them 2 or 3 years from now doing their thing. Now, this is what the question is going to be. What if they don't get far in the playoffs? What if they don't get to the third round or the championship? Is Doc out and then they bring in Mike D'Antoni? I'm just saying they could bring in Mike D'Antoni because you'll have your 3 guys, D'Antoni, Chokeden, and Morey. So to me, I could see this really happening. I believe somewhat of this report. I do, because I believe they would have probably never had to get rid of Drummond or other guys to get Beal over there. In my honest opinion, to me, I still didn't like the trade. To me, I think they gave up a little too much to go get Harden when they could have waited till the end of the season. But Morey and Harden were talking on the back channels, and Harden was growing impatient because he was getting the blame and he had to take all the pressure, and then the Kyrie situation, with the mandate, he was getting frustrated, which is understandable because I know what type of player Chokeden is. He's a choker. He has a great regular season. Then when the playoffs come, the guy chokes. We know this. We know he's not built for the bright lights of the toughness. But yeah, I believe this report. Embiid likes Beal better. Beal to me is the better player than he's the better player than Harden. Harden's more of a Harden could pass the ball better one on one with the ball. He can pass the ball, get the ball to certain people. He's a better playmaker than Beal. Bill's a better scorer and better shooter to me than James Harden. Harden's a better rebounder, probably better all around player. Bill for what he does best, scoring and shooting the basketball, I would take him over Harden. And I think he has bigger main goals than James Harden. It's just Bill's never had the luxury of having a team, around him. Every time they get a chance, he's either hurt or Wall was hurt or somebody else was hurt that was key. So I don't really put that on Bradley Beal why he wasn't successful. Now, Washington, they got a squad because Kyle Kuzma, he's who I thought he was. And I knew Kyle Kuzma, would be a good fit. I kept telling people that the problem wasn't Kyle Kuzma. The problem was LeBrownies can't play with anybody. Everybody who plays with him sucks. And nobody wanted to believe me. Everybody was like, well, LeBrownies isn't here. Why Kuzma ain't balling? Because they don't have a system. They run LeBron James' system 100 times a practice, or they don't even practice. So when he wasn't there, they're not going to get the same calls they would get if he was there. They have to keep the illusion up that guys can't ball without LeBron. But when they go to a whole nother organization, a whole nother place, they ball out. So this is what I was telling you. I wish Bradley Beal could stay a little longer and get a feel with Kuzma, but I just don't see it happening. So I could see him. I could see him moving on, which isn't bad. Now, here's a double entendre. Shout out to Buttzilla, man. Buttzilla be keeping me up on Twitter and everything of what's going on and stuff. Basically, everybody's up in arms when Isaiah says when LeBron passes Kareem in scoring, you have to anoint him as the GOAT. You can't be considered the GOAT and you don't lead in no statistical category. Who says that? Who says that, Zeke? I vehemently disagree. Jordan had better stats than you, but does that make Jordan better than you? No. Jordan probably had better stats than Larry Bird. Does that make him? The only thing Jordan to me, and I keep arguing this with people, is Jordan in my top 10? Yes, he is. He's in my top 10. He's probably number 7 or 8. I have Isaiah, Bird, and I have Magic over Mike. Mike is number 9 on my list. Number 10 is, I believe, Wilt Chamberlain. Bill Russell. I believe Bill Russell or Wilt is my number 10. One of them guys. Or I think I got Elgin Baylor. I don't know. When it comes to my top 10, I don't really have one like per se. I have tier 1 players. Michael Jordan was a tier 1 talent and a tier 1 player. Isaiah Thomas was a tier 1 talent, tier 1 player. Like I said, Kobe Bryant was a tier 3 talent, and then he became a tier 1 player. He's a tier 1 player. But talent-wise, you would probably have him in the top 15, 20 if you're just going off of basic talent. But if we're talking about player, like on the basketball court, I need that guy. Kobe's in your tier 1, if not probably your greatest. He's my greatest of all time. One of them. I got 5 greatest of all time. I don't have one. I have 5 of them. But everyone in tier 1 could be considered greatest of all time. Statistically, LeBron James would only have one category he's really great in, like rebounding. Rebounding, I take that away from him because he's in an era where there's no big men. It's none. From 2010 onward to 2020, there really wasn't no real big man. Now let's look at the 2000s. LeBron James was getting his ass whooped and sent home. And it was because of him. Poor free throw shooting, turnovers, bad three-point percentages, bad shot selections, and the fear of going to the free throw line because he was averaging in the 60 percentile from the free throw line. If you don't believe me, go look it up. The games they lost is because of bad free throws, LeBron's turnovers. LeBron had 30-some turnovers, I think, in most of the series that he played in that he lost. Or he had 28 to 30-some turnovers for the whole series. That's not going to win you games when you dominate the ball 90% of the time. If Kobe's turning the ball over, that's fine because Kobe doesn't dominate the ball. Kobe's PER is very low. And this is why I try to tell analytical idiots. PER is for players who have the ball mostly in their hand. Draymond Green would have a higher PER than Steph Curry or Kobe Bryant. Why? Because he has the ball in his hands all the time, idiots. Not when you catch or shoot, not when you get the ball to score. No, it's when you dominate the ball and you're the primary decision maker. Let me break that down for you slow people. When you're the primary decision maker, that is what your PER is. Michael Jordan dominated the ball a lot in his early years from 84 to 1990. He dominated the ball like a lot, and he played some point guard because Doug Collins needed him to alleviate dominating the ball so much because it was really killing them in certain games where they could have won. So Isaiah Thomas, listen, I did this on the other video. The top 75 isn't about Zeke or Conman 23. Look, I don't like Conman 23, but he's in my top 10. He could actually be the greatest or one of the greatest players to ever play the game. He is. If he's your GOAT, I have no issue with it. That's you. But he's not mine. So don't get mad at me because I don't like him or LeBron. I don't like him or LeBron. I don't. I think they used a lot of their politics off the court to get what they wanted. I believe Jordan caught fire at the right time when you brought in expansion teams and a lot of players were moving around. Free agency became big at that time. So guys weren't really staying on the teams a long time. It was just their team that had everybody together. So I'm just saying, it's no disrespect. It's no disrespect at all. Like I said, but they're not my greatest of all time. But Michael Jordan, if you say he's the GOAT, I wouldn't even get mad at it. But if you say LeBrownies is, then we got a problem. Isaiah Thomas is obviously doing this because he doesn't like Michael Jordan. Okay, he don't like Mike. We know he don't like Mike. We know he don't care for Mike. We know this already. We even saw the video where he went up to Magic and then Magic went to Mike, started laughing and all of this stuff, joking, and Mike was getting mad because Isaiah Thomas is upset. See, this is what I don't understand. It's all right for Michael Jordan to hold a grudge for 30 years or 20 or 30 years, but Isaiah can't hold a grudge. Isaiah has a right to hold a grudge. I don't care what y'all say. Isaiah should have been on the dream team, especially over a goddamn John Stockton. John Stockton's not a top 5 point guard. Who is John Stockton better than? John Stockton wasn't better than Gary Payton. John Stockton wasn't better than Jason Kidd. Are you kidding me? He wasn't. John Stockton wasn't better than Isaiah, wasn't better than Oscar, wasn't better than Magic. I don't give a damn what his assists say. I don't care about the stats. I watch the game. If we're in a park, I would take Pete Maravich over John Stockton. Are you kidding me? Pistol Pete? Come on, stop it. Stop it, y'all. Stop it. Now, I wouldn't take Steve Nash over him. I would still take Stockton over Nash. You know, what I'm saying? So, but shout out to Buttzilla, man, for sending me this information on Twitter. Look, I don't look. Zeke is going. If that's how he feels, that's his opinion. You guys have got to stop saying, "Oh well," because all these people said it over here. Oh, it must be right. So if all these people over here say jump off a bridge or drink bleach, if 90% of the people say drink bleach, it'll help you live. Are you gonna drink bleach? No, because your common sense tells you what? Don't do it. I have my own opinion. I have my own eyes. I have my own way of research. I don't give a damn if 100 million people say LeBron is the greatest of all time. I'm going to be that one by myself saying F you and F them. I don't care. And I'll continue to say that. Now, is he a tier one talent? Is he a top five or greatest of all time in talent? Yeah, if you want to say talent or statistical, yeah, you can say that. But as far as a player, no, because he's always picking his teams. He picks his teams. Not only does he pick his teams, he blames his teams when he loses. And he's the reason they lose. It's like I've never seen a guy get so much love. Like I've never seen a guy get so much love. So much love for losing. Like we celebrate losers now when we used to celebrate winners. That's all I'm saying. Now all of a sudden they done brought Matt Nagy in as a senior assistant quarterback coach. We already know what this is. Matt Nagy gonna get promoted to OC because they're gonna find a way to blame Eric Bieniemy. Look, Patrick Mahomes got to grow some balls, okay? Kansas City fans, stop over glorifying Patrick Mahomes. He got to grow some balls. You got to stop pointing fingers at everybody. Sometimes it's you who don't get the job done. Me, I don't point fingers at nobody. If I F up, I F up. Now, if something else happened where I couldn't get there, if something deterred me from getting to where I had to get to, then that's that problem. That's a problem that got in my way. But at the end of the day, it's all on me to get my job done. Patrick Mahomes has got to stop. They got to stop painting him as this nice, great young guy when he has an ego and he's just as arrogant, or if not more arrogant, than Andy Reid. But back to this. Like I said, Zeke don't like Mike. Mike don't like Zeke. Who cares? Who cares about it? We know why Isaiah is picking LeBron, and he'd be like, no, yes it is, Zeke. Stop it. We know why you're doing it. Now, does this stop me from saying Zeke's a better player than Mike? No, because Zeke is a better player than Mike. I could put 4 random guys out there, give them to both Mike and Zeke. Zeke's teams would beat Michael Jordan 9 out of 10 times. Because you know why? Zeke beats you through, Zeke uses his mind more than Mike does. Mike is more of a scorer. Now, Mike can score and damn near beat you, but Mike knew later in his career he couldn't do all of that anymore. He had to facilitate and get the ball to people. But he's not like Zeke. Zeke and Magic, if I give those guys random 4 people, even Oscar Robertson, they would beat Michael Jordan. They would beat Mike. You know, they would beat Mike. They could beat Kobe. They could beat a lot of guys. LeBron James especially, like it wouldn't even be close how bad they would beat LeBron. LeBron mentally couldn't survive against a Zeke or an Oscar or a Magic-led team because they're too mentally tough. And on both ends of the floor, they communicate. Magic would move to the 5 or the 4, and on defense, or he would guard the 2 or the 3. You know, he couldn't guard the guards like Isaiah. Mike couldn't really guard those type of players, the small guards. Kobe could. Kobe could guard the small guards better. That's why Kobe would give the Jazz problems. Every time he played against John Stockton, he could shut that down. You know, for the Bulls, Pippen would be that guy they would throw on Stockton to guard him, to give him trouble in the pick and roll, which helped out a lot because Rodman could take Karl Malone. And Mike could just freelance, play team defense, play the passing lanes, and, you know, do as Michael. Come from the backside and could get a strip or block your shot. You know, Mike was real good at that. Something LeBron has never mastered. And people going to be like, why are you bringing up LeBron? Because I can't stand that sorry fuck. He sucks. And for all of you guys to be bamboozled by his weak ass, it pisses me off. Like, for real, though. So, we might be StreamYarding tonight, guys. We might be StreamYarding tonight. I might be StreamYarding the basketball game, so tune in. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you for listening. Thank you guys, man. I really appreciate y'all. If you love what you hear, like I say, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to select all so you can receive all your notifications and your messages. And if you love what you hear, go to the link. Hit that description box. That description box will, of course, take you to my Cash App. You can donate $1 or donate $1 million, whatever you're willing to give. We accept it. Also, when the video premieres or we go live, guys, we can super chat. You can drop $1, man. It's not going to cost you nothing. So, yeah. Thank you guys, man, for listening. We out. Deezy.